Welcome to Songwriter Spotlight. We're coming to you from here at the West Tennessee Delta Heritage Center in Brownsville, Tennessee, home of the West Tennessee Music Museum, Sleepy John Estes home, and Tina Turner Museum. If you were with us a couple of weeks ago, you were introduced to Todd Nations. He was here as an accompanist for Amber Ray Dunn, and during that time, we learned that Todd is also a songwriter. So we've asked him back to do a Songwriter Spotlight with us. So help me to welcome back to the Songwriter Spotlight, Todd Nations. Todd, it's great to have you here. I'm looking forward to hearing about your songwriting adventures and learning and listening to your original music. So let's start with, where are you from?
I am from Memphis. I grew up in suburbs outside of Memphis in Germantown. I had a little band. Me and my friends in high school had a little rock band. Not a garage band because we practiced up in the attics. We were kind of an attic band. But then we all separated, went off to college, and then I went off, moved all over the place, and came back to Memphis about 25 years after high school, and stayed in touch with one of those guys, and we started playing music again. Then we found our old drummer, we got him back together. So all three of us kind of got back together and formed a band called Shuffle Grit. We were calling it Shuffle Grit because we just kept swapping instruments. Like, he would play guitar, I'd play bass, he'd play drums. We just kept moving around, and so we thought it was kind of funny. So there's about 7 of us in the whole, we call it a little Shuffle Grit co-op. We have 2 drummers, we can always pull out something. We can show up to pretty much any gig and pull something off. And my family's very musical. My dad's side, my granddad had 13, 14 siblings, and they all played guitar or piano or something. I remember as a kid sitting in a big, huge circle with all of them. And I was just kind of learning guitar. I didn't really know, and just watching them play. And half of them did have on overalls and stuff. This was up like around the Boot Heel, Missouri and stuff. And the whole family's just always been musical on that side. Now my mom's side, same thing. My uncle is a drummer and a music producer and did a lot of things with music and things. So it's always been there. I grew up Pentecostal, so music was right in my face the whole time, so it's always been there. It's people have always told me, you're always singing something, you're always like humming something or singing something in your head. I'm like, yeah, it's just in my head all the time. So music to me is a great release. I have a real fun time on stage with my band and everyone, and that's kind of the nutshell of me and my music with Shuffle Grit.
So how many different instruments do you play?
Well, pretty much I would, let's just say guitar and bass. There's other ones that I attempt and do things with, and I can fake it here and there and things like that, but I would by no means want to jump in and say I can play something else. But I started playing bass. That's how I started out. So everything in my writing and listening to music, I hear the bass first all the time. And so everything about me is kind of bass driven. So that's how it's in my head first. That's how it comes out when we write it. And as I play by myself, I'm still a much harder guitar player than most people. I'll break strings a lot. And I really got into guitar when I wanted to just kind of sing, songwrite, and do it myself and just kind of see what I can do. And it was a good long journey to get comfortable and happy with it, with what I can do now. So I'm enjoying what we do now. When
did you start songwriting? And was that happening during that first band?
Very little back then. We attempted it. We would do little things, just kind of messing around, but nothing like that stuck. And then maybe about a year or so before I moved back to Memphis, I had a year off, and I was traveling the globe and traveling the country, and I had my guitar, and I really embraced it and got into it then and started learning things, and then moved back to Memphis, hooked up with some friends, and we would play about 2 or 3 nights a week. They would come over. Did this for years, and that's how for years before we played out, and this is what we would do. And then we decided, I think Robbie, our drummer, said, hey, my friends are having this Halloween party. I just booked us, we're gonna play this thing, so we've got to learn like 30 songs, cover songs real quick, because we were doing a bunch of originals. So we got all these sheets and learned all these songs real quick, and that kind of evolved into our music book, because we play a lot of, you know, gigs and stuff around Memphis, and a lot of it is cover driven, you know, but we do have a lot of songwriting. We can do a 3-hour show with everybody I play with, you know, with just all original songs. So,
well, share with me the story of the first song that you're going to do for us.
this first song, this is called That Town. And That Town originated when I was living in this back house in Midtown Memphis, and my friend John Busby playing these little licks that we both kind of come up with at the same time during that week. We've been playing week a lot of times, and then he came over and he was like, I kind of got this, and I was like, well, I kind of got this, and I was just thinking, and it happened to be the same thing, but we had the same chords and everything. It was just really kind of unique that way it kind of spilled out. And then I was like, well, I've kind of got this song that this is kind of what I want to make off of this. So we would practice that and do this, and then I'd have to come up with the lyrics, you know, after, but that's kind of how we came up with that one. I was fortunate enough to live in both Portlands. I lived in Portland, Maine and Portland, Oregon. This particular song is about Portland, Maine. It was written as a poem when I lived up there. So this was back in, 1999 and 2000. And then I kind of cap it, and it's kind of a little story about my time there. I spent about 2 years there before I moved down to New York. But this is a song called That Town. It's about the wonderful Portland, Maine. Well, that town, 16 blocks with the cobblestone in and away. Flowers in the bloom with a scrape on the back of the now. Bedpost tie and a pancake show, and then they make the gritty beer that'll make you shame. But I think about it and I want it settled down. Sundown dream, and then I miss that little town. Let me see her again. Whip back down, back a windy road down the county line past up there. There was a big boot town with a cricket in a toe, and then I sat out on a porch a little 2 lines high far away. I danced with the girl with the cowboy hat, but I think about it and I want it settled down. Sundown dream, and then I miss that little town. Don't let me see her again. Jerks in the grass at a Bram Hall pub on a plate. I put my name on a dollar at a Free Street house in the hat. There was a summer in the bottom of a rattlesnake pool, and I lost my will on Vespa Street. But I think about it and I want it settled down. Sundown dream, and then I miss that little town. Think about it and I want to settle down. Sundown dream, and then I miss that little town. Oh, let me see her again. So that was that town.
What do you call your style of music?
Oh Lordy, it's called, I call it folkabilly. Our business cards, our shuffle grid cards are a folkabilly, Americana, acoustic rock, gospel, country band. So, but folkabilly was what we came up with when we were playing a festival and we had to come up with, they had to give you a genre, and we were just like looking at each other. This was before we had drums and stuff, and we were kind of just all acoustic, and so we were sitting there and we were like, it's not folk, it's not rock, it's not rockabilly. I was like, it's kind of like folkabilly. So we just kind of blended some, but I would say we're a folkabilly rock band now. It used to be a folkabilly acoustic band, but now that we're very electric and very drum and very loud, so folkabilly rock is what we call ourselves now.
Well, obviously you're inspired by the places that you've lived or visited. What else inspires your music?
This next song is kind of a wink to one of my favorite bands ever. This was a band called Uncle Tupelo. And Uncle Tupelo was a band, a three-piece band out of Belleville, Illinois, which is across the river from St. Louis. And when I was in college, this was like, let's say early 90s and stuff, they were to me a country punk band that I just thought was so incredible and so tight and so amazing that I just really got into them and learned to play guitar, trying with their songs. They would do a really hard rock song and they'd do really country, with mandolins and banjos and stuff, and it was just back and forth, and I just really, really enjoyed listening to them. Then they split up, and one of them became a band called Wilco, which is big and famous. The other one, Sunvolt, which is another J-Far. They're another pretty famous band, but they split up, so now I got two bands. But this song is just kind of a little nod to them about their town. But more than that, it's kind of so I wanted to put Belleville just in a song. It's not really about Belleville. I've never been there, but I was sitting in the train station downtown Memphis across from Ernestine's. This is before they redid it, and it was just this old train station. I could sit down there and just let around, and I was like, this is kind of neat. I mean, and I, when I was living up in the Northeast, I just loved train stations, and especially the old ones that I would find. They would be really fascinating to me. So I was just sitting there and thinking of stories, thinking of times when I've just been drug across here, there, or whatever by, catching the eye of a pretty girl. And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'll follow you around or do whatever. So this is just kind of a funny little song about, you just kind of get talked into stuff every now and then, and you end up somewhere. And that's kind of what this one's about. So, talking to me, looking over my way. She said, buy me a ticket on that train, right there, the city of New Orleans. I said, hey, which way are you going? She said, to Belleville, Illinois. But I don't even know you. She said I wasn't talking to your boy. Oh me, oh my. We had soul burgers and a jukebox, and then I found out her name. So many things she did not tell me, and other things she left out unexplained. We got to know each other fairly well that night, riding northbound on a nighttime train. Oh, what are we gonna do now? You see, it's 4 a.m. in Carbondale. Oh me, oh my. I ain't making this up, I ain't trying to be funny. I just thought that you would get a gig of this too. Oh, some days you win some, and some days you lose. Some days you'll wind up in Belleville. So, she kept me going with distracting qualities, the likes of which that I cannot explain. I asked her, well, how are we going to get there from here? Well, she was laughing. She was pointing with her thumb. Oh, no. I said, now, girl, I think you're crazy. We just been coming right around that bend. We count around with the First Assembly of God, church bus from Belleville, Illinois. Oh, me, oh, my. I ain't making this up. I ain't trying to be funny. I just thought that you would get a gig of this good. Some days you win some, some days you lose. Some days you wind up in Belleville, Illinois. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my. Oh, me, oh, my.
You definitely have a sense of humor.
That's a funny one. I do enjoy watching people's faces when I play that song. They all just think they know it and they just laugh. And it's just kind of funny. But I do have people sometimes just come up to me and say, "Oh me, oh my," and I just know it. So, but that's one of my favorite fun ones to play. So.
We were talking earlier, and I know what your real job is, or what your daytime job is. Does that ever inspire your music?
No. Well, I take that back. I can't lie because I work at I'm an accountant and I work at an architect firm, and we have this group of a bunch of us, and I'm the only male in this group. There's like 13, 14 of us, and they have this birthday buddy thing you have to draw out, and so that's your birthday buddy. You have to get money for everybody, have the big birthday party for this person. So they're all very good at decorating the cube, making the offices look good with balloons and all that. Well, I'm not. So my birthday buddy, I told her that I'm not gonna. I can try to decorate your little workspace here and do things. It won't look good, but I'm gonna write you a song, a birthday song. And we went to this lunch that had a stage, and so I went in there and talked to them. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna get up here and play at lunch. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah. So got up there and sang her this song about having some accounting blues with our little stuff, and she really liked it. So that's the only time that it has ever really blended. But no, they are they know it now, but a lot of new people, they can't believe it, because I work with people mostly from out of town, like in Philly and Florida and stuff, and it's just like, he what? And they find something, they show it to them in pictures and find a song and show it to them. They just don't believe it, just like everyone in my band doesn't believe that, it's just backwards and forward. But I am the treasurer of the band, so I get to give everybody money. So when they come see me, everybody walks up like, hey, I just give them all money, and so that's kind of fun about it. But that's about all I like to blend it, but.
So tell me more about how your songwriting process works.
It starts with a bass line in my head, usually. There's a bass line in my head, then I'm out walking my dog. I live downtown Memphis, I'm out walking my dog, I'm just thinking of this, that, and the other, and then every now and then something strikes me, run back in and make sure I write it down. And if I'm way far away, I have to sing it the whole way back so I don't forget it and don't get distracted, and then get back in there and write it down quick, because they will zip right out. So that's how it starts. Then I come up with what I want to talk about. Usually it starts with probably a chorus, and then I go back into the verses and go backwards. I kind of like start with something and then go back around and try to make it fit in there and things, and then but it's a lot of this next song that I want to do is one that I did with one of a guy that joined in with Shuffle Grit that was in a band called Giant Bear Robert Humphreys, and he is one of my favorite songwriters, and so I wanted to get with him, and he helped me write this song. I had this dream. I'm a big Jack Kerouac reader, so I was for that while there, I was really into him, and so I had this crazy dream, and it was so vivid when I woke up that I actually wrote this down about kind of what happened, and we were trying to figure out like what is the forever, like what lasts forever, what is the one thing, and like love, and I'm like nah. And it ended up being in his dream. I mean, he looked at me, he was smoking a cigarette, he looked at me, he was like, compassion. And I just kind of didn't even really, have that word in my lexicon there, but it just kind of, there it was. And I was like, well, okay. And so that song, that word is kind of through this song, but this was one that one of my slower songs. I don't write many slow songs, but this is kind of one that was just kind of different for me, but I really enjoy it. So see what you think. It's called Well Forevermore, which is kind of a frustration kind of expression, like, well, forevermore. But anyway, see what you think. Stone alone, lost resort somewhere. With curtains and aroma like a cheap motel. There's angel in the room that across from me. But I paid him no mind. Back in the corner of the restaurant, he sat there all alone, cigarette stained with Dharma beatnik hands. Came from the middle of the last century, and he's sitting underneath that pixie velvet king. He said, I only have confusion, nothing else to bring. But I paid him all my mind. He said, just searching for them preaching words, remember mine. Tomorrow takes your yesterday and runs away with time. I will forevermore. I will forevermore. Well, there's something in this room as often something seems quite cold. There once there was a light in here, but everything is loud. That I can feel it in my fingers, I can feel it in my bones, but there's an angel here among us. He's got a very angry boss. Desolation, angel wings will never, ever, ever be found. They will forevermore. I will forevermore.
how they can find more of your music online and more about you.
You can go anywhere that you get your music, Spotify, Amazon, iTunes, anything. Shufflegrit, that's SHUFFLEGRIT. You can go look that up. There's songs out there for everything. We've got 4 out there that we did a couple of years ago. There's also a bunch of stuff on YouTube, a bunch of videos that we do and different things. And we're just kind of playing around. But you can find us on Facebook, and we play throughout Memphis and different places like that.
So you're being joined by Amber Ray Dunn right now. She's going to accompany you on this song.
So I got to be in her show, so she gets to be in mine. She's gonna sing. She sings with me on a couple of these next ones, and so I thought I'd bring her in for this. This next song is called "Cup of Poison." This one kind of is about, let me take that burden from you, and I'll deal with the pain. And so it kind of evolved into a whole bunch of little stories, but basically it's just about kind of this period when I moved back to Memphis, and I was just kind of getting through a short little 13-year plan that was supposed to be about 13 months, but it ended up being a little bit longer. But this kind of just was one of the songs that kind of came out of that. There's a lot of music that came out of, a lot of guitar came out of that period. So I'm very thankful for it as I am older and wiser now. But this is one of my favorites. It's called "Cup of Poison." Take that lift right out the door, but everybody's got a way to go. Through the day they make their way, but once I even heard them say this was not how it was supposed to be. So I spend my entire day, I'm trying not to go insane, but I am really not that good at it. You see, everyone I run into, they want to knock me off my stool and go and get what they are going to get. Ooh. Cause eyes, they never lie, you know, but one of us is gonna have a fit. But like I told you, and I showed you, watch out, this is going to have a kick. And the notion that my commotion make you think that all this was a trick. Took the poison, took it from them. I put it in my cup, I drink it up. And I no longer feel the pain, the past decisions I made. I know so much more than back then. But like I told you, and I showed you, watch out, this is going down again. And the notion that my would make you think that always was a trick. I took the poison, took it from them. I put it in my cup, I drink it up. But I no longer feel the pain, the past decisions I made. I know so much more than back then. But like I told you, and I showed you, watch out, this is going down again. And the notion Turn that like emotion. Make you think that all this was a trick.
Thank y'all so much for joining us this evening. I know that you've enjoyed Todd's storytelling and his music. I hope that you will join us again in 2 weeks when we'll spotlight another area singer-songwriter. Todd, it's obvious you love music and you love writing. Thank you for teaching us about folkabilly. I'm going to remember that term. And sharing your talents with us tonight. Amber Ray, we appreciate you being here with us as well. Thank you. So, what are y'all going to play us out on tonight?
So, we were going to do this last one that I want to do. When me and Amber were driving up, we were just singing this the whole way up because we're still kind of messing with this one. This is a shuffle grit song called Bar Stools that we did on our little LP. And what was crazy about this one, so I really want you to go out there and listen to this one, but we had this guitar lick at the very beginning, and it was the mic was something was messed up with the lead guitar, and we couldn't find it. We couldn't find it for like months, and they finally found it, but it was recorded real low. So they had to, when they were mixing it, they had to turn it way up. And so you get it like, it was recorded like 1, you had to put it on the thing at 10, so it was picking up all sorts of things in the air. And there was we were on the flight pattern in that studio, this was Andrew's old studio, and so there was an airplane flying over and you can hear it, whoom, and then the guitar lick starts right in. So that's one of my favorite things that we didn't have to pay for. It's called Bar Stools, and Amber's gonna be singing with me on this one. Well, I understand you're moving off to Asheville. That Carolina air might do you fine, but all I'm hoping is that you will find all that you expect to find. But like the spinning of my bar stool, I thought we'd end up in Tennessee, but it was also unexpected when you said the same but differently. Since you think that we are not good company, you know I sat drink about that boy. Hard luck, man, it happens each and every time you think I'd be used to it by now. Go Amber.
I'm walking mountains out my window just to keep them far away from everyone and everything that ever made me want to stay. But since you've gone, I've gotten better. I get on my drinking down my night. Now I'm sitting on my first stool. Oh, bartender, make me one more time.
Now, since you think that we are not good company,